We are back for the second season of the ARU Men's Collegiate Breakdown podcast show. I did not sing us in, unlike the fall. That was just yeah, no, I'll never forget that. Well, welcome back. We're talking spring sevens here, and we got a really nice looking spring setup. I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully, our weather cooperates.
It won't, but we'll still play sevens.
Yeah. With me, as always, Seth Irwin, myself, Mark Senko, in our familiar spots. Seth in his basement with all of his trophies, me in my office with my one little plaque.
I was going to say, with a new plaque. It's a new plaque. It's not the old Eagle banner.
No, it's not. That's up on a camera now. But, yeah, so we hope you all had a lovely winter, as mild as it was across western PA and Ohio.
No, it's gonna gear up now. It's been too nice, too warm. In the great way Clarion works is first regular season tournament, and it's gonna snow. So
2 straight indoor weeks for you guys.
Yeah.
And one for us down at Pitt, and yeah, beautiful days. Could have played outside for sure, but as soon as we go outside, snow machine cranks up. So
it's just.
We'll see.
Because you guys are above I-80, that's all.
That's it. You know, it's Monday now. They're forecasting anywhere between 1 and 13 inches, which is a great forecast. So, it could be 1, it could be a foot of snow. And
if it's 13 inches, I'm sleeping under the stadiums. Not leaving.
Well, we just wanted to sort of restart the podcast here, give you a little bit of our preview for the spring season. We've got a lot of teams starting this week, and we had some in action the past couple weeks here and there, a little preseason stuff. Sevens is quicker, and so our show will be quicker. Unless...
I'm still here. It's not going to be that quick.
Well, I was going to say unless all of you have like a little video clip or something you want to send us.
Yeah.
You know, with sevens being fast-paced, fast action, there's a lot more people that are taking cameras out, grabbing clips. You want to send us a clip? Shoot us a small little video, and we'll try and incorporate it in to the podcast as best we can.
Hopefully we have some drone clips before it hit the bubble.
There's a couple drone clips. Yes, the drone had a catastrophic failure hitting the bubble at Pitt, but I believe I can repair it. So it should be flying again this weekend.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. No dome to hit, so hopefully no snow and wind take it out. But yeah, so we've alluded to it. We'll just get right into it. You guys have had 2 weekends. IUP has.
Yeah, played 2, both in the Pitt bubble. We decided that we were not going to go frostbite this year as our preseason. Do the double in a bubble. It rhymed.
You did well.
So it's been good so far. We're learning how to play sevens with a couple of graduates, a couple injuries. So you know, we have a tall task if we want to end the year this year that we did last year. Now it's not an easy road. So you know, it was good that we got a lot of. I think over the past 2 weeks we've got 14 guys that played sevens for the first time.
Nice.
Now, granted, some of those guys are freshmen who played 15s in high school that are good rugby players. But, you know, sevens is a different animal. It's a lot faster. It's a lot, you know, harder to play to me as a big chubby guy. That's, you know.
You know, exactly. I always hated sevens because I was always the forward thrown in. The fastest forward thrown in with the backs, and that's always the worst.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, I never was, we'll call it fast.
We didn't have a fast team. Yeah, so, I mean, you guys look pretty good. Obviously, we were there. Slippery Rock was there this past weekend, so we got to see you guys up close. Slippery Rock's looked pretty good.
Typical IUP Slip. Slip has the lead at halftime. IUP had to, you know, make a little bit of adjusting in that second half. I think it ended up 2014, I think. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
I think I was dealing with the crashed drone or something at that moment. But I just kept looking up, and again, you were saying, a very typical IUP slip game,
Yeah.
hard hitting, but both sides, both you guys move the ball very well.
I think that was the key to the bubble was teams that could move the ball and get into space a little bit more. Had a little bit easier time, but I think that comes from Seven's experience. You could tell Slip was kind of in the same boat where they had their studs like Chase and Aiden or O'Shea. I called him Aiden to his face. He kind of looked at me like I was weird. O'Shea. Everybody calls him O'Shea. That they were there. They're missing Oscar this semester, so that is a change for them. But they still have really good players. They're freshmen and Zach Harrington. He played 15 for them all fall. He's a really good rugby player. So they have that that three-headed monster kind of thing, and you could tell they were trying to find what pieces fit and what pieces were the magic puzzle. I think they're
the joy of preseason.
Yeah, exactly. And I think against us, we had probably in the first half more of a type 5 heavy. We started our fall 15s tight head who showed up just to get a run in, have fun. His goal is to make the travel roster and play a 3-minute stretch here and there. But so the second half we brought in more inexperienced backs who just had a little bit more speed. I think they flipped it. They had more of the speed in the first half and then more of the tight 5 in the second half. So it was just the quality of play, kind of flipped. A little bit more space, a little bit more speed in the second half for us. So
those chess pieces, that coaching decision.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I mean, this week's going to be good. Coming to your place, pretty big tournament. I forget how many teams. 12.
There should be 10.
10.
I believe. Yeah.
So
yeah, should be good. Tournament.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. Get to see you guys again. You guys looked pretty good in spurts. You could tell that you guys have been working space, attack space, get the ball away, and then I could see the steam coming out of your ears where they started to pick and go like inexperienced guys would in sevens. And when you guys spread the ball, you guys were dangerous. You have very deceptive speed, I think, for your guys' side that most people don't rely on. And when you were able to play in space, you guys were pretty dangerous. Get the edge.
Well, that's what we said all 15 season. If you saw us in the fall, we were not big, and we're still not. So, as much as I don't like sevens, I think our guys have been waiting for this, and so a little bit of speed on the edge. The problem is, and I think we're going to see that this weekend too. So many schools, as it's sleeting against my window right now. How many times are you able to get outside and practice and actually get in, a good run and tackle this early in the season?
It's tough. It's real tough.
It is. So we'll see. I'm expecting, it's going to be interesting to see this weekend. I don't know what some of these other schools have as far as facilities to practice indoors. Or if they're getting good practices outside. We haven't had that bad of a winter, but knocking off some of that rust. But we do know one more preseason team, Frostbite
at Frostbite. Yeah,
there you go. Unfortunately for them, 0-3. Played York close, 21-12, and then lost to Bloomsburg and Rowan. But again, just another chance to get out and try out different combinations. See what sort of happens.
And both of those other two teams were above them. Division-wise, were above them, D2, D1 AA. They're competitive. It's not like it was major blowout city or anything. So I think we said that last year about them is, they're super athletic. Once they get the rugby knowledge and Coach Baker, drills them a little bit more, they're going to be dangerous because they have speed for days.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be locked down the edges on those guys, and hopefully they don't play them 3 6'5", 325-pound props up the middle.
Yeah. They're brutal. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I was looking back at our scores from last year, and God, every time we played, Frostburg was close. And the difference between fall 15s and spring 7s is if you got 8 or 10 pretty decent kids, athletic, you can play a good 7 season. But at 15s, you get exposed, right? You don't have the full piece. So I have come around to enjoying 7s a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, if you asked me this like 3 years ago, I freaking hate 7s. But coaching wise, I minus the back pain from standing all stinking day. I like the chess match that comes with 7s. What pieces are going to fit, and how do you exploit who you're playing, and what style you want to do. I mean, obviously, I have to come around, right? Like, I can't say that I still hate 7s right now, right?
Yeah. You have every reason to come around to that for sure. So we're gonna have, obviously, like we said, at Clarion this weekend. So just looking at the pools that we have built so far. Pool A is IUP, Case Western, and WVU's B side. We have a couple B sides here. Pool B is Kent State, Fredonia State, and then bringing in Cal U, who we saw actually last weekend at Pitt as well. Again, that's another team, kind of like Frostburg. A lot of athletes. I mean, we played them in our last game, and they had one kid just take off right at the end of the game. And I remember hearing someone behind me go, "What did Usain Bolt show up and play for Cal?" And so that's another thing. A lot of athletes there. We'll see. And I felt the same way about Fredonia in the fall. A good mix of athletes and kind of were trying to work.
I think Fredonia, they're going to be a pretty good 7 team. They're very backline heavy. 9 to 15, they're all super athletic, fast guys. In talking to Max towards the end of the year, I think in that was at our place. Was that the conference championships? Yeah. And talking to him, he's like, once we get the 7s, I think once we get it down and figure out what we're doing, it's going to be fun. So I'm excited to see what he's done out there, and how they're going to come in, and we'll see if they play 1-2 channel a lot, or if they're going to actually spread it out and tack edges. It's cat and mouse. See what teams do.
I was just going to say, snow won't be a problem for Fredonia. I think they're a little used to that.
A little bit more than you.
Yeah. I mean, they're, just south of Buffalo there. Then Pool C is WVUA, Slippery Rock, and Frostburg. If I were to pick one that's kind of a brutal, and I promise I randomized it. I tried to keep the Bs away from their A teams. See each other, but then I randomized everything else. Do
you dare say that's the pool of death in this tournament?
I think.
You think? Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, we just said Pool B with Ken Fredonia Cal, maybe. But and then Pool D is Clarion, Baldwin Wallace, and IUPB. Which, I mean, Baldwin Wallace had a great fall.
Yeah.
And then I imagine your B is going to be a pretty good side.
Pretty good.
Athletic. We were talking about this before. Athletic.
Yeah, a little bit less rugby knowledge. But they'll get those type 5 guys that know how to play rugby, but just can't get their legs to do what their brain says. I mean, we'll see. For me, that's going to be the fun side to watch, just to see, how they're reacting to not having, like our top tier players, the guys have been playing since they were 6 years old or whatnot. Not having them around like they did this past week and trying to figure things out on the fly. I think that's going to be, for me at least, is them being my team. I want to see who's going to make a push to get off that second side onto the first side, and make a run for our hopefully down the road regional side or national championship side. So
yeah, and I think that's the joy of B sides. I mean, I know Slippery Rock had planned on having it be. They picked up a bunch of injuries this last weekend. We had hoped to have it be, we're right at about 20, and I just don't want to split. You just every weekend you're going to have 2 or 3 kids that are up there, but being able to have that competition, right, to get to that A side just makes all the difference in the world.
Yep.
So, should be a good tournament. We have probably, I'll have a QR code. I might even drop a QR code here into this video. So if you're watching it, you can snap it with your phone, and it will take you right to the schedule. You can follow along with the results and pool standings and everything like that. I guess this is, and coming off the back of your email this morning to teams, communication's key. Let us know what your results are in these tournaments. If you have a Google sheet and you want to make a QR code, we can publicize that as well. I mean, it's a really easy way to track scores for people at home or wherever they might be to follow along. Whiteboards are great for the tournaments, but if you're sitting 80 miles away or something, it's possible you're not able to see that whiteboard. So, definitely you'll be able to keep track with all that. And we're looking forward to kicking off our ARU spring season. Now, you want to tell us what we have on the docket as far as the rest of the spring?
Yeah, so we are actually doing, of our normal season, 8 to 9 tournaments. I know Ohio Northern was trying to get a tournament off this week. Weren't able to make it a full go. So they're going to try and reschedule. So that's going to be added to the calendar either on the 11th or the 18th. But next week we got 2 going. Looks like 2 fullish tournaments, Slippery Rock and Taylor. And then the week after, you got the WVU Chicken Tournament, Wabash, and Kenyon. So
you missed one. You missed yours.
Oh, yeah, I skipped my week. Yeah, so the 18th is IUP in Cedarville. IUP, I know we're full right now. Cedarville, I think, was a smaller-ish tournament where there are 4 to 6 teams. I think they're full as well. And then the week after is the Chicken Tournament, Wabash and Kenyon. So big week out week. After that week is going to be the ARU Championship. I was hoping to have that set by now. I am confident that regardless of what's going on next week, we will have championship locations set, announced. It'll be a nice big graphic we'll put in the video. But again, there's like 4 or 5 teams that we're trying to get info and, trying to make it work. How many fields, how many refs, blah, blah, blah. Planning a tournament's not fun. Don't get me wrong. It's not fun. But we will have the ARU Championship location announced next week, 100%, so everybody can start making plans. It will be on a Saturday. We just need to know what fields. And then after that, so we got another week after, which is Case Western is going to be hosting. That is Easter weekend. So if you want to get some more play that weekend, they are currently at 8 teams. And then after Easter weekend is our regional. So for the small college, whoever wins the ARU tournament, the number 1 seed, whoever wins that tournament is automatically qualified for nationals. So they're automatically going to DC to represent the ARU in the small college bracket of nationals. And then after that, on April 15th is a regional. So that's going to be a regional AQ. So that mixes with the ARU, the Three Rivers Rugby Conference, and the Mid-East Rugby Conference. So kind of like the little tri-state area, I guess.
Which tri-state area? There's lots of tri-state areas.
Ours. Ours.
Oh, wait. So who are we talking about?
So our regional for small college is being played at Founders Field. It is the Three Rivers Rugby Conference, the Allegheny Rugby Conference, and the Mid-East, which they're like Ohio, Kentucky, like that quarter. Is that considered tri-state? I don't know. Maybe not. The Appalachian? Can we call it the Appalachians? That makes sense, right?
Yeah. Totally.
So that is happening at Founders Field. So for the ARU, we will be sending 2 to 3 sides, depending. There's going to be 2 guaranteed, 1 at large, based off of at large criteria. Put a resume in if you want to play in it. The Mideast has 1, since they only have like 3 teams. They get their top seed comes, and then the Three Rivers has 2 seeds, and then we have 1 at large. For the Division 2 teams, we all are going to location unknown at this point. It may be at Pittsburgh. That's the only place I know we have EMTs, refs, and a field secured. We're trying to make it work with the actual tri-state conference. So add the confusion. But that is going to be that weekend as well. We don't know. We're still in planning. There's been some major issues around referee availability, and if we hold it in one location and we don't have any refs, so we had to try and move it, but we can't move it because they don't have field availability for another tournament or like a tournament to kind of merge into. So we're figuring it out. We're working on it. I think I talked to James at the Tri-State Weekly, so we're trying to iron it out. Worst case is the Tri-State has to come to Pittsburgh to play at Founders, but if we do that, then the next year we owe them a trip and we'll all go out there. But it's a work in progress. We will have it as it comes.
And here's the other thing. And I told all my guys this at the end of the tournament. If you are senior, you're graduating, you're kind of done playing, go ref, man.
Yes.
Please. Ref and coach.
Yeah.
We can't grow the sport. We can't play the sport without refs and coaches. So
we had a new ref this weekend. I thought he was great.
Yeah. So that's so critical. It just allows all this stuff to be handled a little bit easier.
Can I say the joke? He had a really good high school coach.
Oh God. You and your prodigies, your offspring.
Hey, it's out of my rugby tree, right? Like, don't all like great coaches have like a rugby or coaching tree?
That's true. They do. Oh gosh, I can't wait for 20 years from now. The Seth Irwin coaching tree. Oh Lord. So that's kind of our playoff pathway. So we'll have obviously the AQ for small college out of ours, 2, maybe 3 more, potentially to regional. And there's only 1 qualifier out of Region 3, correct? Whoever wins that tournament.
Whoever wins that tournament.
So they will go on and play national championships. Have been moved. If you haven't been following along with NCR's, updates and their press releases. It's not going to be Memorial Day weekend like it was last year. It's going to be instead April 29th, that weekend in D.C., roughly, just outside of D.C., in Maryland. I think that's a much better decision because it's during the school year, right?
The first time in the tournament history, and however long it's been going on, is the first time it's during the school year.
Yeah. That's key. I think makes it easier.
It makes lives easier.
Yeah, it makes a lot of lives easier.
Moving it back to the Northeast too, I think makes it. I mean, obviously I'm biased. Makes it a little bit better. I forget what the number was, but it was like 300 and some teams are within a 4-hour drive of the pitch that we're going to do this at. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it is good. It's not in New Orleans in almost June. So although DC can be swampy and disgustingly hot, but in end of April it should be okay. So yeah, it should be good. That is obviously where we're shooting for. Hopefully to get 2 small college teams and a D2 team there. That would be the max we're allowed. But that'd be pretty cool. It would
be pretty good.
We'll see how it shakes out. But excited for this season to kick off this weekend. Excited that all of you are tuning back into the 2 of us chit chat for a little bit. And, I think on that we're at 24.
That's a record. That's going to be a record.
Man. I mean, I would say I'm going to turn it over to you, but then next thing you know, it'll be 45 minutes in. So maybe we should just call it. I know, but you said it yourself.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Nah, I know. I hardly am.
It's because you're wearing a tie today?
It's because I'm wearing a tie. It's because I'm wearing a tie.
Act like you have a real job.
Some of us do have jobs, Seth. Some of us do have jobs.
Yeah.
All of us might have jobs. But yeah, so on that lovely note, hopefully you're taking time out of your work or your, life and watching this half-hour podcast. We're happy to be back, and hopefully next week we will have a little video footage to throw in here too, splice in there. Have a really good recap because Seth and I will both be there.
Both be at the tournament taking notes. Very good notes.
Yeah. In a nice warm press box.
Yeah. So next week's show is going to be an hour and a half long because I'm going to have a full notebook of notes on every team.
90% of it about IEP, but no. All right. Well, we will let it go here. If you can, if the weather ends up being nice, we'd love to see you up in Clarion. Come check out a lot of lovely teams from all over. Mostly the East, but a few from the West. So it should be a good day.
Yep. I like it.
All right, folks. Take care. Have a great day, evening, night, whatever it may be for you. Adios.